God bless you on this fine day, Exile. God bless you, Exile. Another day in damnation. What can I do for you, Exile? And thus my prayers are answered. None too soon, neither. Don't look so perplexed, Exile. It's simple. God has sent you to help me look after the relics, the few remaining islands of faith in this sea of sin. The corrupted, they hunger to see faith gone for good, chewed up and spat out by the nightmare. Not while you and I live and breathe, right, Exile? There's holy work to be done here, Exile. What it is, God has clearly decided to keep to his divine self. Nothing like a little blind faith to make life interesting. Any moment now, this holy spot's going to be buried in filth. The corrupted will pour in here, bent on eclipsing anything and everything that has been touched by divinity. I hope you're good with a shovel, Exile. Glory to the pure and mercy to the fallen. Sadly, this holy site has fallen to the corrupted already. It's our duty to put the poor, bastard place out of its misery. The corrupted draw strength from twisted spots like this, you see. Can't be having that now. So lay about you, Exile, and quickly now, lest Nightmare sense our cause and choose to tighten its grip on this place. This here island of faith has been made home sweet home by a small horde of corrupted filth. It falls to you and I to cleanse and claim this place in the name of God. Steel your entrails, Exile. You're about to get your hands dirty. Thank God for that. Stand fast then, Crusader, for here comes the flood. Let's give old Nightmare a taste of divine wrath. Begone, filth of corruption. Courage, Crusader. No nightmare lasts forever. Corruption be damned. Remember, Crusader, corruption is beyond mercy. That was some damn divine slaughter you delivered there, Crusader. You did God proud today. You come visit me in Line Eyes Watch next time you're there, for I'm more crusading where that came from. Damn it! Ah, bless. Not your fault, Crusader. The corruption was just too strong for us that time. Look out for me when you next pass through some of the more holy attractions in Rayclast. I'm sure God and I will be fighting the good fight again. And with more success, I hope. The corrupted are lying low at the moment, Crusader. Seems that we've given them more than their fill of righteousness. It's just the calm before the storm, though. The next time we meet out here, you'll have all the smiting you can stomach. I promise you that. And so, God sends you to me just in time to witness my failure. Has a funny damn sense of humour, don't he? Look out for me when you next pass through some of the more holy attractions in Rayclast. I'm sure God and I will be fighting the good fight again, and with more success, I hope. I've but one purpose in life now. Defend the last vestiges of faith in this God-forsaken land. Well, can't be completely God-forsaken. He sent you and me here, didn't he? Now, I've a few trinkets lying about that might be of use to you. Adornments imbued with what little faith I can muster in this accursed place. That said, the more corruption we smite, the more faithful I'm likely to be feeling. I can make some damn fine baubles when my divine ire is up. In the meantime, let me know if any of my current pieces catch your eye. Good to see you, Crusader. I thought for a moment there that I was going to have to play the lone martyr act. Ah, that's it, Crusader. Smite the bastards like there's no tomorrow. Not to worry, Crusader. We live, so God must think we're still useful for something. I think God's taken a bit of a shine to you, Crusader. Come and chew the fat with me next time you're in Line Eyes Watch. I've a voice in my head telling me that you and I can do more for each other. Whether it's God's voice or not, I don't care to speculate. He's usually right, whoever he is. I'm in the mood for some smiting. How about you, Exile? Care for another dance with Lady Sin, Crusader? Today's a fine day to kick corruption's filthy ass, right, Crusader? God has glorious plans for us today. You ready, Exile? We'll shove the faith back into this land yet. And thus the holy is restored, piece by bloody piece. If God were a man, he'd be grinning his tits off right now. We've done the faith proud today, Crusader. You restore my faith in humanity, you do. Alas, faith is a thing of the past here. Alas, faith is a thing of the past here. Vol of Thebros was just a shadow of what you'll become, Crusader. You keep on this path and God will see to that. So you and I need to talk the next time you're in town. God has plans for you, my friend. Yes, he does indeed. It's us or them, Crusader. Us or them. You're a well-blooded defender of the faith now. We might return this land to God yet. A moment, Crusader, for those who have fallen before us. God have pity. Haven't we done enough? The damned corruption gets stronger every day. Faith fights in vain. You may have picked the losing side, Crusader. Nothing is sacred in this damned land. Nothing. The corrupted are off licking their wounds right now. The horizon is unusually devoid of filth. The flood of filth has ebbed for now. A good time for some spiritual reflection, Crusader. Enjoy the serenity while it lasts. God rewards his most faithful servants, but only if we prove ourselves deserving of his divine touch. Today, God has thought fit to bless us for our service. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe he'll think fit to summon us to his side. Pays not to think of such things too much, exile. Bad for the faith. Ah, God has delivered you to me, and, as always, his timing is divine. I've just put the finishing touches on a few baubles. Dripping with faith they are, brim full. Have a wee look and let me know what you think. We all need a quiet spot in which to rest and reflect, Crusader. Had a vision that hinted at you having found such a place. And me praying only last night for somewhere to polish and bless my trinkets in peace. Far be it from me to invite myself where I'm not wanted, but I'm sure you could find it in your heart to house a man of the faith. I do believe our faithful work has been rewarded. Somewhere to hide out from under the malevolent gaze of corruption. God has revealed just such a holdfast to me. All that remains is for you and I to accept his most generous offer. Shall we take a look, Crusader? We all need a quiet spot in which to rest and reflect, Crusader. Had a vision you'd found such a place. Sorry to be the bearer of ill tidings, but as secluded as your current hideaway might seem, you're not out from under the malevolent gaze of corruption yet. But you're in luck. God has chosen to reveal another more pure sanctuary to me. The perfect hideout for crusaders of faith such as us. All that remains is for you and I to accept his most generous offer. Shall we take a look? Gratitude is one of the finest of virtues. You've done yourself proud today, Crusader. An abode most fitting of humble souls undertaking the greatest of work. What better place in which to gather our resources and resolve for the battles ahead? It's in this blessed font that I douse my trinkets in the cool waters of faith. Tends to change them for the better, as you probably noticed already. If you've the patience, I can teach you how to bless your own baubles. In God we trust, and in you I trust. Without trees there is no forest. Without symbols there is no faith. Back in Oriath, I crafted and blessed trinkets aplenty for the clergy. Pretty baubles for vain men. My symbols meant nothing there. Here, symbols are all that we have, Crusader. No trees, no forest. And so I craft my trinkets and then baptize them in these holy waters. The trick is, as I do so, I envisage how I'd like that particular symbol to be reborn. A blessing of strength to the sinews, a shot of sharpness to the old brain, a touch of good fortune. I make the choice, and God delivers. Faith has a peculiar eye for fashion. You dress yourself in the garb of self-gratification, and you'll get the cold shoulder. But clad yourself in service and sacrifice, and you'll get yourself invited to all the best parties. To be given, you first have to give. Something you're really starting to get the hang of, Crusader. God does love a Crusader, and so do I, Exile, so do I. But do you know what impresses me most about you, Exile? Not your good looks or your ability to smite so mightily. Tenacity. You're simply too pig-headed to give up and die. Yet again you prove yourself worthy of God's admiration. Now, not that I'm questioning the benefits of a bit of divine loving, but I'm looking around and thinking that he might want to give you a more tangible sign of his love. A house of God doesn't need to be built out of marble and gold, nor reach into the clouds, but you should be able to put your hands together in prayer without grazing your elbows. I'll put in a prayer or two for a slightly less humble abode, shall I? I'm starting to think that you might be one of God's chosen. Now, I don't say that lightly. In fact, I don't tend to say it at all these days. Seemed like every time I decided to dub someone chosen, they'd end up as nightmare fodder the next day. In fact, the more faith I had in them, the worse they got it in the end. A bloody shame. But that's not going to happen to you, Crusader, because I haven't actually called you a chosen one. Have I? You were sent by God himself. Sounds a bit grandiose, don't it? But there it is. Of all the exiles out there, he picked you. To be honest, I couldn't really see why at the beginning. No offence, but you were nothing special, just another exile with one foot in the grave. Now look at you. Look at us and what we've achieved together. I didn't have a whole lot of hope before I met you. My faith was wearing thin, and in my darkest moments, I wished only to be carried off to God's kingdom. You've changed me even more than you've changed this land, Crusader. I knew we had to reclaim Rayclast in the name of God, but I didn't really know why. Thinking back, I have to face a shameful revelation. I didn't think humanity deserved to have Rayclast. You've proved me wrong, Crusader, and proved God right. So you're in a smiting mood, are you? Good. So am I. And I found just the holy spot for a hopeless last stand against the hordes of corruption. Through polished gem and polished lie, Verici earns himself a special place in God's heart. The soul is God's concern. Katerina can do what she likes with the discarded vessel. Our causes may look worlds apart, but Tora and I share a common purpose. Rayclass will be saved. Vagan has a certain attribute that makes him most desirable as a soldier of God. He doesn't waste time on thought. Zana's one of those people that wants existence analysed, written down and filed away all tidy. Nothing spoils a joke worse than when you have to explain the bloody punchline. Haku's a damned heathen who worships trees and ghosts. It never ceases to amaze me how we, God's children, excel at deceiving ourselves. The faith of the Uriathan Templar is a warped and woeful shadow of that which the Eternals believed. The Eternal Faith united an empire, drove its citizens to work together for the glory of God. The Uriathan faith drives citizens apart, draws a clear black line between the haves and the have-nots. You know, the Eternal Empire was founded by Crusaders, men and women just like you. God appeared to an Asmerian shepherd boy many hundreds of years ago. He told that boy to lead his people from the mountains of poverty down into the forbidden lands where prosperity awaited the bold. There he was to build upon the bones of the fallen and found a nation of the faithful. That boy was Veruso, the Prima Imperialis, first emperor of the Eternals. Vol of Thebros, High Templar of the Faith, the man chosen by God to lead the glorious Purity Rebellion, blah, blah, bloody blah. He was an idiot, and I was exiled for saying so, loud and often. God gave him intelligence, power, charisma, and tenacity. And what did he do with it all? Devoted it to the stupidest idea in the history of humanity. The destruction of thaumaturgy. Vol thought of himself as Rayclast's saviour. He ended up being Rayclast's destroyer. Thaumaturgy isn't a sin, exile. Vanity is. I'm going to share a revelation with you, Crusader. The power instilled in my holy trinkets. It's the same as the dark power that lurks within the so-called virtue gems. The same power that feeds and molds the corrupted. Nightmare and thaumaturgy, two sides of the same coin. I know, bit of a dagger in the heart of faith, or so I thought at first. God straightened me out quick enough. Nightmare and thaumaturgy might be two sides of the same coin. But who minted that coin? No, it's not a trick question. God did. God gave us thaumaturgy, a divine gift above all others. It's man who corrupted that gift. Glory to the pure, mercy to the fallen. God bless us on this glorious day. We serve in faith. We fight at your side, God. In nomine Patris et Filius et Spiritus Sancto. In nomine Patris et Filius et Spiritus Sancto. Il divinitus Italianus. Il divinitus Italianus. Il divinitus Italianus. Sacrovisti mortalis. Sacrovisti mortalis.
Well met, exile. Know that we must purify those who stand in the way of our crusade. This bastion will not fall as long as our faith remains strong. Logistics is the key to any crusade, and we'll defend it with our lives. Behind every crusade is a bloody legacy the public never sees. Your purification has been ordered, heretic. I withstood your Inquisition, exile, and I am stronger for it. I'd prefer peace if I had the choice, but I don't. You made me question my faith last time we met. I have found new resolve. It is the highest calling to die for one's crusade. Exile, you know how this ends. Purity is mine to wield against the unworthy. The sacred bones of centuries of Templar are an unstoppable tide. God, lend me your might to smite the wicked. God, lend me your speed to confront the wicked. Purification through fire. This is a place of sanctuary, one which I cannot allow you to defile. Take heart, Crusader. God aids our defense. We must protect these sorely needed supplies together. A holy crusade is still a war, and war comes with necessary evils. Sometimes crusading is bloody work. Let's get it done. Strength in faith and strength in numbers. I will not fail the cause. I'm here to save your sorry arse, Vegan. Couldn't buy your way out of this one, could you? God helps even the most nauseatingly ugly of creatures. The bigger they are, the more help they need. General Gravicius, your reinforcements are here. Worry not, Crusader. Your savior has arrived. Inequity breeds in safety. This keep must be cleansed. I'll not stand idly by and let you fail our brethren. Wickedness and sin, that's all I see here. God has called for a purge. None of you are without sin. Sorry, friend, but God's got another plan for this fight. You've earned a special place in God's heart, Verici. Let me send you there. You're no part of God's plan. What ghastly thing made you? You may be a fellow Templar, but your unhallowed crusade is yours alone. One thing I learned from the Templars, never trust a man in a mask. Funny thing about the Crusades, they start focused, but end up consuming all. Only a fool brings a fight to God's doorstep. For the Crusade, I'll defend this to the death. It seems we're all sinners here. I'll smite all comers. God is everywhere, warrior, even in you. I think you've been spending too much time wearing black and sitting alone in the dark, Verici. Power is a false idol, Janus. It has led you astray. Not at all. Let's see who he sides with, false Templar. And in the way, I shall remain. Good thing I'm in a smiting mood. We shall stand impregnable. Fight with renewed vigor, Crusaders. We do what we must for the greater good. Exile, you leave us no choice. Can my god borrow you from Hinakura for this fight, honored warrior? Will you answer the call, Verici? About time your family fought in a war, rather than just fund them, Janus. Crusaders take all shapes, I suppose. Can you follow orders, Hillock? Great emperors have become trapped by their own machines, Riker. Take care not to make the same mistake. Let's get this crusade in shape. I told you this bastion would not fall. You should never have come here, child. Add one more sin to the pile and burn it. When you see him, exile, shrink not from God. God's worthy are saved, but heretics are punished. I was right to have faith. Only God knows what we have done now. Oh, my faith was not strong enough. Not here. Expose our sins, exile. It's what we deserve. I've failed. Back to the Inquisition, I assume. We should solve this with words. God certainly keeps testing me. To fall, perhaps to die again, but pure I remain. Perhaps I deserve this vengeance. God's eyes are not upon us this day. Lord, did I err? You remind me why I left the Templars. Consider me intimidated, exile. I'll bargain. If you wish to change minds, exile, it is better to raise people up than cut them down. Crusades are not won and lost on the battlefield alone. If you have someone in mind, I will put them at my right hand and expose them to new ideas. Dominus exiled me too, you know. Thought I were too soft for Templar leadership, and that my radical ideas might turn others against him. He was right. I have a knack for bringing others round to my way of thinking without too much blood. Perhaps you should consider using such a talent yourself. Oh, it's hard working for a group when you don't like their methods. Reminds me of some dark days under the Templar. I'd rather find something less grim to do. Would you consider sparing this old man's life? Never too old for a second chance. All this time, all this bloodshed. I kept telling myself that the ends justify the means, but I can't stop asking myself, what if I'm wrong? Have I damned myself? Reckon it's time I took a sabbatical. I'll retreat from all this and wait for a divine sign. If only you could see the bigger picture, Exile. If only you could understand what we're trying to build. Are you in a listening mood? Stay your blade, and perhaps once you've heard what we are doing here, you'll change your mind. How about some old-fashioned bribery? The ranks of the faithful swell. I'll let you know what I find out. Consider it done. Go with peace, Exile. And if you see God somewhere on your journey, tell him I'm waiting to hear from him. All right, then. Listen closely. Not all Templars' old tactics are without their uses here. Personally, I believe this whole thing's being mismanaged. Devotion starts at the top. If you'd like, I can leverage my supporters in the Syndicate to depose our current leader and take up the role myself. In my Templar days, men that failed as hard as these would have been demoted. I'm in a position to re-implement that policy, if it suits your interests. Sometimes, Exile, excommunication is the right tool to send a message. I do have some sway in this organization, and I could get someone removed from the Syndicate, if that's what you're after. No need for an inquisition. I'll tell you everything I know about my fellow Crusaders. You can't really trust someone who worships trees and ghosts, can you? Piranda serves no power above his own. He's no ally of mine, nor of anyone who cannot help him achieve whatever foul fantasies he has cooked up. That creature is no creation of God. Whatever power it serves, we'd do well to do what we can to stop it, together. I don't know what God's plan is, Exile, but I know that Gravicius is not part of it. Maloney fills me with doubt. The worst atrocities of the Templar were ordered by men in masks. Just think about why that might be for a moment, and you'll see why he's a far bigger threat than I. God welcomes all into his arms. But I can't say the reverse is true. Some people need a little nudge. I'm no traitor or trader. I choose to die for the cause. In front of my commander, I'll choose death every time. Stay strong, Crusader. This exile can do no worse than the Syndicate. This old Crusader has reached his limit for inquisitions. Just end it. Some have less faith than others. They are to be pitied. Madness is putting one's faith in long-lost ancestors. They were human and flawed, and they'll betray you just like you've betrayed me. Oh, assassin, how expected. Not the first time I've been betrayed for my faith. As always, I remain resolute. Gravicius, what happened to you to make you this way? Shut my mouth, and I'll preach by humming, fiend. I won't judge you for this, but God will. The Templars had a habit of questioning their own, forcefully. You can't frighten me. The Inquisition never ends. I learned that a long time ago. From diplomacy to torture. I see. Your methods are brutal. God will not watch you kindly. Why do you inflict such violence? Even my rivals deserve better. I thought God was working through me. For God! For God! For God! For the cause! For the cause! For the cause! Faithless! Faithless! Faithless!